Last time on The Room Where It Happened, we now return to our game already in progress.
Oh, we're up.
And yep, you're live.
All right. Hello. This is session of the Follow Leader and Room Where It Happened joint charity live stream supporting the charity Mermaids.
Mhm.
Hey, this should fix the audio. I forgot I need to be in the room because I need to be
Thank
able
you.
to hear you. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, everybody. All right.
Good. Our first big charity live stream where people need to sleep in between and stuff. It's good. It's good. All right. Where was I? That's Brian. He's still here and he's great.
You want to just start
You
over?
probably need to start over because I missed all of it.
Okay, then I will start over. Hello and welcome. This is the Follow the Leader and Room Where It Happened 24-hour joint charity live stream, session 6. We're here supporting the charity Mermaids UK. I'm Jade and I'm your host for this session, and my pronouns are they, them. And playing with me this session, I have.
It's me. It's Gales. I just woke up. That's all you need to know.
For this session, we're playing Random Access Histories by Ben Roswell. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. Random Access Histories is a game about the stories we can carry with us in our bodies and how we share them with each other. The object of the game is not to succeed or fail at any one action, but rather to build and explore a changing relationship between two entangled people. It's a game about partnership and understanding. Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, and unwanted pregnancy. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. So now that we've got all that, well, let's get started. And I just realized that I got so caught up with starting, I did not retweet the tweet I needed to tweet. I'm very good at this. Did you know?
You're doing great.
As are you. You are a trooper for getting up. I have done the backup to do streaming or games after 3 hours, and yeah, I know this.
The only real problem is that I didn't open the door to my room before I like
Mm,
went to sleep
mm,
intentionally.
mm-hmm.
And now it's really cold.
Oh, friend. Oh, friend. Well, we'll try to get into the game, and our emotions will keep you warm.
Is that how it works?
I'm
I
I'm
think I need a
saying it.
blanket.
Blankets are good too. Get a blanket. So, Random Access History, a game of
All right.
interleaved memory. I'm going to read this little bit of flavor text before we dive in. There is a term called pixel bloom that refers to the light from a single pixel spilling outward, blaring into and illuminating its neighbors. When scientists were asked to name the manner of information sharing between an entangled mech and pilot, they remembered the seeping glow of figures on an otherwise dark cathode ray screen. When the bloom occurs, memories, thoughts, emotions, and sensations may bleed from pilot to mech and back again. That's it. We're playing mechs. We're playing with mechs and pilots again. It's probably, for those of you that were awake, it's probably going to have a very different feeling to Beam Saber,
Oh yeah.
which was a riot. I caught like the back half of it and laughed so much I nearly felt sick. So it's good. It's very good. This game refers to both players as co-pilots. One of us will be playing a mech, the other the pilot. We are not simply a machine and its operator. We both have equal agency over where the story goes. The term mech is shorthand for a large category of characters. It can be the traditional large robot along the lines of Gundam suits, but it can also mean anything you and your co-pilot consider to be a mech. The only requirement is that the mech needs a pilot. This game is built to deliberately encourage you to explore the weirder and stranger definitions of the word. So it says to quickly go through the list below on content, aim, tone, and subject matter. Kales and I have a long history of playing together, so we have a lot of the same touch points, but just if we want to go over those, see what we're in the right headspace to do today, and then we can get into the setup for the game proper.
That sounds good. I'm kind of happy to go wherever you want in terms of like I don't want to say content necessarily, but
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I mean. What I mean is like the first thing that we talk about in setup is the war, and I am kind of happy to go in whichever sort of direction you want to go with for
Mm-hmm.
discussing that, since we know what we're planning to play.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the things we're going to discuss are a content aim. So, what content is just it's sort of like the pitch for the game, what we want to get out of the story, our tone, subject matter we've already addressed with our lines and veils. So
Mhm.
that's good. I don't want to necessarily go too super grimdark with this. I don't think it fits the characters that we've talked about,
No.
but I don't think it's going to be goofy and slapstick with recorder covers if my heart will go on either. When the archive goes live, you guys really need to check out the Beam Saber game.
It slapped so
It
good. Oh, it
it
was
it
so
puts the
good.
slap in slapstick. It's great.
Oh,
Um,
we did really, really good. I'm really pleased with
it
how
was
that turned
a
out.
good game. Chaos did a great job running it, and the players were a riot. Um, hmm. Are we looking for a story which could end hopefully, rather than it being a crash and burnout tragedy?
I would
Like,
like it to,
all right,
personally,
uh-huh.
just because of my own feelings about the character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would really
That
like
works
it
for
to
me.
end nice.
Yeah, I mean, all folks, I'm going to hopefully be running a Beam Saber campaign later this year, of which Chaos has expressed an interest in playing this character. So, it's not canon, but it could be kind of a vibe.
Hopefully I'm able to play that campaign. We will find out.
We will find out. All right. So I feel this is like a point of view character. This is like if this is like a small perspective on a bigger picture, on a bigger stage. This is like I don't know, I don't like war movies, especially. So, but like one of those stories that focuses on the individuals. This isn't about the grand sweeping war effort. This is like a pair of co-pilots and their story. So, like them working together to
Mhm.
whatever goals they might be. So that kind of, I like the thought of it feeling like a small story happening on a very big stage.
Yes.
And like a spotlight has been put on a part of the stage, as it were.
Yeah. I do also kind of like the idea of it being very with it being that spotlight of it being very, very focused on the two of them. That's partially because I don't have the brains to do more than just the our two characters.
Mm-hmm.
But
So it's, I dig that minimal NPCs, minimal wider world stuff.
mhm.
It
Yeah.
that tight focus. I'm down. I'm good. All right. Um, so set up the war. As a team, you play your side's best hope in a conflict against an overwhelming enemy. It drew the two of you together and continues to bind you as you go forward. Together, we'll choose, excuse me, three adjectives from the list below to describe the threat we fear. We choose one thing or one of those adjectives that sets the threat apart and makes facing it overwhelming. Um, I don't think it's in there, but it does say later that we'll give a name to what this enemy is, like the what we call it. So,
Mhm.
all right. Um, got a long list. Are any of these particularly making you go, ooh, Kales?
Hmm.
For our listeners, we've got mutated, self-healing, legendary, telepathic, invisible, vicious, imperial, unknowing, compelling, alien, mechanized, expanding, unwavering, small, unpredictable, hive-minded, swarming, colossal, human, poisonous, or angelic.
Really quick, are you using the version 2.3 rules?
Oh, I have version 2.2. God
Oh,
damn.
no, I mean I can go use that one instead. I'm just wondering.
I, I did not have 2.3. My apologies.
Okay, I'm using Dora's thing because I guess I don't have this game. Later.
I just don't think I updated it because I've had this on here for a while, so I didn't know that there had been an update. Sorry, Ben. I will quickly grab the 0.3 as
Okay.
well. So
The list is the same for the war. I'm just not sure about the rest of it. Okay. Legendary still really jumps out to me here.
all right, I like that. Let me go over to
I don't know what that means.
we can figure that out. I did set up a GDoc, so we've got a place to keep tabs on this chaos.
Oh.
It's pinned in the channel.
Coming back.
You're gonna have so many tabs open.
God, same. I have like so many PDFs and all of that.
Oh, hey, donation incentives.
Yes. At the moment we have the rolling forward for £20. Brian will compose you a song of your choosing. We can liaise, but you'll just need to, once you've made your donation, DM Brian on Twitter at RoomWearPod, and he will create something beautiful for you. If you are here for the intermission, you might have heard some music. If you've listened to Room Where It Happened at all, or there are a couple of our guest themes and incidental music on Follow the Leader that Brian has done for us. It's all very good. We have no other. I don't think we have any other set incentives right now. But please, if you could keep donating, that would be so amazing. Mermaids is a phenomenal charity doing really good work here in the UK, supporting the families and young people and children who are trans or gender non-conforming. There's a lot of hostility towards trans folk in the UK right now. Mermaids have been the subject of a lot of unfair press, but they're doing the good work, and we wanted to support them. So, and if you obviously do donate, we will give you a shout out and say all of the thanks. Random Access History 3. Hello. I could offer to do a accent like Riley did, but I feel that might affect the tone. Also, I'm playing a mech that doesn't speak, so it would just be me, Jade, out of character doing voices and then trying not to ruin the tone. So maybe I shouldn't do that. All right, rolling through. Come on, G-Dogs. All right, there we go. Got the full list. So legendary is good. I like that. Like something old that may be awoken again that we're fighting. I mean, to that instance, do we want to really lean in and use angelic?
That's good.
Or unknowable, one of those two.
We get 3.
I know, but there's some fun other ones in there too. There's cursed too. There's a lot of good adjectives here.
There's a lot of good adjectives here.
Mm-hmm.
I really like angelic.
All right. How about with that either compelling or telepathic, or maybe unwavering? One of those three, like this relentless force.
I am going to shy away from telepathic just a little bit.
Absolutely.
But compelling is good.
All right. So legendary, angelic, and compelling. Which of these do we want to highlight as our key adjective?
I kind of want to highlight compelling.
All right, cool. So what do we call them?
Oh, you're going to ask me to name things at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Come on now. It's 18 minutes past 5.
Okay, semantics.
Do we want to call them the host? Like the heavenly host kind of vibe? but with that compelling thing, like that kind of commanding presence. I'm happy to like do that,
No, that's
but I can
really
appreciate that
good.
that might be not a great thing either. So,
No, that's really good.
okay. Or it was the heralds, but host is cool. All right, the host. Okay. Next up, yes, where'd it go? The mech, which is me. I'm playing the mech today. I get to choose 3 adjectives to describe the mech, and then I will choose one of the 3 as the thing that sets me apart. Other mechs, robots, or people in the world may share the first 2 of the attributes, that the one you starred is what makes you the best hope to win the war. I know what I want to make. Oh, is it still there? Did it get taken out in version 3? Oh no, it isn't in version 3. Damn, I'll have to think of something else.
I mean, you could always just take it still.
I could. The one I wanted to I'm going to check that I haven't just imagined that, and it is in fact in. Oh, it's because I'm looking at 2.2 still. Let me look at 3 and see if it's there. Very sorry, lots to scroll through. Okay, it isn't there, but is it here? Because I don't want to accidentally use a word that is not on the list. Like, we play Calvin Ball a lot, but also I like people to know. Okay, why did I think that was a word that was on these lists? Because it is not there now. Damn.
Was it on the pilot list?
No, it wasn't, because it wouldn't make sense for it to. And now I'm going to scroll because I'm like, but was it?
What was
Welcome
the word?
to Awakened.
Oh.
Oh, Awoken is under pilot. Ah, well, there we go.
What? That's weird. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. I like that that's under the options for pilot. Let me be clear. Hmm. Ooh. I want to use patchwork and make that the starred thing, not in the physical sense, but because of something that Chaos and I talked about, with how this mech thinks and how it draws information and puts experiences together.
Mm-hmm.
Like its way of thinking and its personality is very patchwork. And it's colorful and it contains multitudes and things maybe that shouldn't work with each other do. That feels cool to me. If you're down with that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. Patchwork. Okay, 2 more adjectives. I guess I should think about what this mech looks like. And at least pick one adjective to do with appearance. We've got words we could use: otherworldly, shifting, massive, sleek. There's also resonating, organic, anomalous, new, voiced, ancient, secret, mysterious, holy, which would have been interesting given what we chose for our war. Storied, skin tight, patchwork, which we're using, mystical, learning, grown, animalistic, and fiery.
Not to suggest stuff for you, but learning
Please.
is very good.
Yeah, I like learning too. And maybe patchwork does apply a little bit to the thing. We talked about a little bit, like maybe if the pilot has had this mech a while, like there's lots of elements from other kind of models. This is definitely somebody like has voided their warranty by doing their own upgrades. Kind of a vibe. I didn't want to name them yet, is all. It's not my prerogative. I'm going to take shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's room in there for things to happen. And I like that it fits with learning and with patchwork. So, okay. And once I am done, name myself freely and introduce myself to my co-pilot. Now, here's interesting because Chaos has had this pilot character for a while. Have they ever named their mech? Has their mech ever had a name in your mind? Because I'm happy to use that.
I mean, besides the one that has been given, no.
All right. I can't remember what you gave it as.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me DM you really quick.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because, I mean, like, beyond this,
All right.
no, there's no other name.
Okay. I like that being their name. I'm happy to declare this here to Twitch and Sundry. Um, yes, so this mech's name, use they, them pronouns. I don't mind it either in this instance. I'll leave that up to the pilot, depending on how the relationship goes. Radiant 9, which is a really dope name.
Thank you, Twilight Mirage name generator. Okay.
Right. Our pilot.
If you are playing the pilot, use this section to construct your character. Choose 3 adjectives from the list below to describe the pilot, then choose any one of the 3 as a thing that sets you apart and mark it with a star. Other people and pilots in your world may share the other 2 attributes, but the one you starred is what makes you the best candidate to pilot the mech. And then once you're done, name yourself freely and introduce yourself to your co-pilot. So the words are loyal, brash, healed, pledged, prophesied, cunning, cybernetic, unassuming, wicked, awoken, seasoned, cloned, inhuman, wild, natural, constructed, steadfast, encoded, brilliant, resonating, and beautiful. Wow, it's been a while since I've read this game, and I'm like, oh, right, there are so many good options for pilots here. Very pleased.
Shout out to Lids for your donation of £5. Thank you so much. Oh, the ticker's not working on the overlay. We'll make sure that's correct for the next one, because neither of us are running the overlay. So just mine will be updating. A bit of a lag, but it's okay. It's all good.
It does generally have a bit of a lag, but
okay.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool. I have to type things. I was literally already looking at these and had picked a couple, and now I've forgotten what they were.
So valid. God, my knee hurts. For the listeners at home, I slammed my knee into a chest of drawers in between sessions, which is what I get for stepping away from the computer, quite frankly. I should have known better.
Oh, God. So I am going to pick Steadfast. I'm going to pick Cybernetic, and I have a reason for doing this that I will not say on this stream. Hold on, I'm going to put it in our DM.
No worries. I'm sorry. I should not find that so funny. I'm an adult. I am a mature podcaster and streamer. It's very good, though.
I just don't want to get served a cease and desist, so I'm not going to say it out loud.
Sure, I'm amused by that pun and annoyed that I am amused by that pun.
That was a lowercase Riley original, so...
Shout out to lowercase Riley.
And I think I'm going to take Wild, and I'm going to star that one.
Ooh, fun.
Which is a very interesting thing to say about this particular pilot. Uh,
That's interesting alongside steadfast as well.
oh, it
I
is.
really
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Okay. So the last thing that we need to decide before we can play, your conflict. You and your co.
I haven't introduced myself yet.
I'm so sorry. Please introduce yourself and forgive me.
It's okay. I love you. Um,
Hmm.
I am playing Veracity Sundown. They use they them pronouns. They are both a soldier and a healer. They're a doctor as well, but there are things that you have to do when you're at war. So,
All right. You and your co pilot work against the threat, but that does not mean you're always on the same side of every decision. In random access histories, you play a pair who have been brought into conflict with each other for some reasons, be it major or minor. You start in neither a state of full sync or full desync, which is something that we'll explore further as we go on. The conflict also serves as a starting place for your story. Talk to your partner and decide what has changed to bring you to the start of this story. Some examples given are a bad first meeting throws both of you off course. An injury means you must change the way you battle. An old partner returns and throws a wrench in your communication, or a shared connection with a past pilot puts a strain on your relationship. So I have a thought of what it could be.
okay.
Um, Given the thing that you wrote that you've already written about Veracity and Radiant 9,
Mm-hmm.
what if it's because Radiant 9 has woken up
Ooh.
and this has gone from a slightly more pilot and their machine to true co pilots?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they're both
Mm-hmm.
adjusting to what that means.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Um, for context for the listener, um, Veracity is a fairly new character of mine. Um, Radiant 9 is their mech, and Radiant is sentient, but wasn't always sentient. Um, and they woke up on their own, um, doing a dumb thing. Um, I'm allowed to say that because I wrote it. And so if this is right after that,
Mm.
that's certainly a way to start.
Because I feel like conflict, I think a lot of people can immediately go to it being a negative thing but it's just a thing. Wow, I can't words and I don't have the excuse of just getting up. I barely had that excuse in stew pot, quite frankly. Um, so, but yeah, conflict doesn't have to be weighted with negative emotion. I don't think it has to be like resentful, but it just causes problems.
No, there's just things that are happening.
It's new, and new things can be scary as all hell.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's not the PDF I want. This is the PDF I want. Play. To play, take a deck of cards with the jokers removed. I apologize if the jokers are still in there. It's been a while. And this is just me being critical role trash because my brain wants to just sing it's been a while. So these cards represent the memories you share. Deal 13 cards to each player. I will do that. 13 cards. What do you mean? Fine. To me and to Kales. Okay. This is your memory bank, or more traditionally, your draw pile. Draw 3 cards from your memory bank into your hand. These are the memories that float close to the surface of your mind. We have the 2 index cards labeled sync and desync on the table where both players can reach them. The scenes play consists of a series in the war that you and your co-pilot are fighting. Players take turns establishing scenes by naming an action they want to take. Actions can be small or large, but each should be a significant part of your
Oh
journey
shit.
towards.
Fuck me.
You good?
Drop my headphones.
Ah. Actions can be small or large, but each should be a significant part of your journey towards or away from understanding each other. If you're having a hard time thinking of a scene, ask yourself, what's the biggest thing standing in our way, and try and fix it. We role play freely. If the scene is a battle, share the responsibility for narrating action. If a scene doesn't involve both mech and pilot, your co-pilot can step in to play other characters or the world around them. If both mech and pilot are present along with other characters, take turns stepping in to play them. And then we will interact memories during these scenes, which is the bloom, as mentioned at the top. It allows you and your co-pilot to relive memories together. This can happen regardless of distance between you. It can happen in battle, or even if you are a scene where only one of you is physically present. At any point in the scene, the player who did not establish may play a memory from their hand and immediately draw another. The suit determines the subject of the memory you share, and the number, the strength or importance. We can sort of share those as we go through. The player who plays the memory outlines the memory, but the other should feel free to make suggestions or ask clarifying questions. When the memory is done, you return to the scene, continue role playing as if you have returned from a flashback. Play out how it affects you having relived it with your co pilot. If it made you angry being that into the scene, if it only made you more confused about them, play out that confusion. If you were the one who shared it and it hurt to relive that, then bring the hurt forward. And if you're in battle, consider that memory's effect on the battle. Once the scene's done, we'll whether we are closer to an understanding or whether barriers have gone up. And we'll go from there. All right. I need to draw 3 cards into my hand. Oh my gosh, they're all. I should have set them to be face down. Okay. Roll 20. How do I pull up the deck and look at its functions? I don't know.
You're the
Should I try?
GM, so you should be able to do. Oh, roll 20. Come on.
Yeah, be a buddy. Be a buddy. Maybe I should recall and then we should just take cards. I can't remember. Because
I
I
mean,
haven't been able to.
because you draw 3, you keep 3 of the cards from the memory bank that we have in our hand, which means that
Yeah.
3 of the cards that you dealt to us are technically in our hand, even though these are all in our hand.
Yeah, I think it's the idea is that you can't see, you can only effectively choose from the ones in your hand. So I'm just going to do the top 3 that I can see because I made them all face up by accident. So I'm just going to,
It's fine.
I'm just going to, the first 3 are the 3 in my hand, and that's how I'm going to play it. So, because roll 20. All right. So with that, I'm already emo too. So scenes. Do you have an idea for one, my darling friend Chaos, who at 25 to 6 in the morning on what, less than 3 hours sleep?
Killing the game. I mean, I do actually.
Sweet.
Because I was thinking about something not like immediately, but like fairly immediately following like the awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And Veracity feeling sort of disconnected from Radiant because they like haven't been able to co-pilot since the accident, and feeling like they need to like just like go and talk to them.
Okay.
And
Veracity was injured, right, in that accident quite badly. Is this like back at base camp, patched up, and now going to see?
yeah.
All right.
It's possible that this is actually that was actually the accident where they got their cybernetic arm.
Oh, wow. I like that.
I hadn't been thinking about that, but that's actually really, really cool. I like that a lot. So They're
Sweet.
also just getting used to their
Uh-huh.
new
A whole bunch of
prosthetic.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they just want something that they like know, you know.
Mm-hmm. So do they get in to Radiant 9?
I think they get in, but they don't like rig up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
All
still
right.
like a big ol' hole cut into Radiant's chest.
Mm.
It's like the edges are not like as jagged anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still because it but they haven't like really started patching it yet, so Veracity can just kind of like wiggle themselves in
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like sit there, not even in like the pilot's whatever. I don't know exactly what it is inside. I think it's Pacific Rim style
Nice.
with the Jaegers, so there's not like an actual pilot seat.
You like lock in and take the
Hmm.
controls and stuff.
Yeah. Um, but they just like kind of like sit down.
Um, some lights flicker on. Not like the full bank of lights. It's more just like the immediate control. Yeah, I'm gonna lean in. I think it's two lights, like a pair of eyes, slowly
Mm.
flicker on, like a pair of eyes opening when somebody's asleep or been asleep. And Veracity feels this wave of concern um, and apprehension. And there's fear around it. There's a sharpness to the edges of it that doesn't feel like anger. It feels like that surge of adrenaline that you get and that back on that fight or flight mechanism kicking in. It's almost like a taste of copper in the back of Veracity's mouth as they're hit with this like little wave of emotion
Mm.
off Veracity, off Radiant 9.
Yeah. Veracity kind of like holds their cybernetic arm to their chest and then rests their still flesh hand on the floor because that's about the only thing that you can reach. They're not like up against the wall or anything. Um,
Mm. All right.
and I mean, what Radiant gets off of them is more just like a bone weary tiredness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but slow like Radiant can feel the tension kind of leaching out of them as they kind of sit there.
All right. I think this is when the memory happens. I'm just looking at my options.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. What is this memory? Hmm. Okay. I'll put this in the middle for now. 6 of diamonds. Diamonds are memories of strong emotion. And then the scale goes from 2 as a minor memory that may be shared with little worry up to an ace, which is a memory that is fundamental to who you are and your conception of yourself. So we're somewhere in the middle. It's important, but not formative.
Mm-hmm.
How do I phrase this? Yeah, I think it's you've seen Firefly, right, Chaos?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll continue to steal stuff from Joss Whedon because he doesn't deserve it, and we're far more forward thinking and not assholes.
We're also not
Fuck Joss
racist.
Whedon.
Or
We're
trying
also
not to
not.
be racist.
We're trying our damnedest. But it's the moment of Veracity meeting Radiant 9.
Oof.
and it's like the I forget. I can Oh, it's not Objects in Space, Adrift, where we see Mal meeting looking at Serenity for the first time.
Mm,
It's like the memory, I think, is huge. It has that sort of color to it, and maybe it's like the sun streaming in, but Radiant Nine's hatch is open, and like systems are like idling, and the memory comes as to Brassie's like this series of sensory inputs more than anything else, and there's this like edge of curiosity but wariness, and it's not, I suppose, because they're not awake yet, but I suppose
I have a
they,
question about this though.
please hit
Do
me.
you get the reverse emotions from them,
How's
where where
mm,
Veracity has that, you know, little bit of apprehension, little bit of fear.
I love
Um,
that. I like that. But the memory is Veracity experiencing what their own emotions are like to Radiant Nine. So it's like seeing a reflection of yourself, or a
mhm.
recording that somebody else has done of you. It's like seeing yourself from the outside.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's that.
God.
Look, folks, nobody vetoed Kales and I getting to play sad mech games. So here we are.
Once again, who let us play games together with no adult supervision?
Yep, everyone else is asleep.
um, I do want to move that into sync,
Mm-hmm.
because Veracity just kind of smiles and is like, I'm trying to think of what they say here. Um, I'm definitely still like mostly asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Brain wise, I'm totally functional, but like my brain is just like,
Yeah, that's fine. Veracity's probably on some painkillers right now. It's good.
yeah.
Lean in.
I think what it is Veracity just kind of smiles and this wave of fondness rolls off of them.
Mm, I
Um,
love that.
and maybe that's all it is.
Okay. I think more lights sort of flicker on, um, and that some of that nervousness dissipates, and you get hmm, I think it's like almost like a small video plays like that. It's not a memory, it's something that
It's like an actual video.
yeah, like something pulled off YouTube, or a fucking TikTok, or something, like something that Radiant Nine has picked up from the cloud, um as it were. I'm trying to think what it is. I think it's like some, like, probably a joke thing, just like something about like not a rejection. um and they played that, and there's that fear of worry, and then there's the feeling of that being deleted, and
Mm.
that fear of rejection has been put to rest, and that's the sort of wave you get from, that's the input you get from Radiant Nine. And for our listeners, when Gaz and I talk about this, like, yeah, Radiant Nine doesn't talk using words, I was like, huh, okay, I can work with this. So this is where part of the patchwork aspect comes in.
Just taking vines off YouTube.
Yeah, the vines, and just on a point of reference for me when I was thinking about this, I forget what the name of the episode is, but I think it's season 4 of New Who, where Amy is trying to remember the Doctor, and it's like petrichor, a red balloon, and all that.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
it's
yes,
that
yes,
flat,
yes.
that repeating of images over and over again.
Hmm.
That's how I wanted to think about Radiant 9 communicating, like that mix of emotions and images and found footage almost.
Oh,
So
that's so good.
all right. So
Yeah, that feels like a good. I
that
mean, I
feels like
think
a good.
Veracity laughs, but I think that that's a good scene.
And I think you even get like that crumple sound like when you delete something on a Mac. I think you get that. So all right. My turn to frame a scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a little later, and I think there's been an attack, and I really like the stuff becoming a priority. And this is in like the hangar,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the thought there's the sounds of something happening outside. And I'm now just really upset by the thought of this. Oh, what it is the outside of the building is like broadcasting music super loud, and it's muffled inside by this point, but it's a countermeasure for these compelling unearthly voices of the host.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how we sort of counteract it when we're just not in this. Maybe we do it in battle as well, but maybe it's like that compulsion is trying to happen. It's one of the strategies that they use, and so that's happening outside. This building is like blasting its own music back. I don't know whether it's music we know or whether it's just some fun noise. All I can think of is like pop punk and shit right now, because that's the kind of vibe I've been listening to a lot recently.
Yeah, valid. My brain just went Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, but we can't pull a Star Trek Beyond, so I'm not gonna say that that's actually what it is.
But I like the thought that maybe whoever's on security detail gets to pick the music, so you get some really wild choices of what music is being played to counteract the host's compulsion at any given time.
We're probably at the point where we like know everyone in security so well that we can tell shift based on what
Yes,
music they're playing.
I love that. I love that. But yeah, to clarify, this is Radiant 9 finishing being repaired. So they and Veracity can go back out. This is
Yeah.
like I think it's the finishing up of the repairs. Also, like any adjustments inside that need to be made now that one of to work better with Veracity's new cybernetic. And like there's
Mm-hmm.
been some new stuff added because of that.
Yeah. I don't think the rest of the force knows that Radiant woke up.
Cool. I dig that.
Um, which I don't know if that's a choice. I think Veracity's not telling anyone, and then like
Radiant 9 sure isn't telling anybody.
yeah. But it's for I think on some level it's less like Veracity's worried that something's gonna happen and more like Veracity doesn't think it's important. Like it's like whatever. They woke up.
Interesting.
Like
Interesting.
it shouldn't be a big deal. It's a big deal to
Mm-hmm.
them, but it shouldn't be a big deal to everyone else. And they know that it
Mm-hmm.
will become a big deal, and they're like, nope,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not dealing with that. So I think Veracity is trying to help with the repairs as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
though, now that they've like mostly healed up.
Yeah.
Their arm isn't super cooperating with them, but
Mm-hmm.
um it is so it's a little bit slow going because they're still trying to get used to this supposedly intuitive piece of machinery that's not super intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
But they like are not gonna let anyone try to be doing repairs on Radiant while they're
Mm-hmm.
not there,
Love it.
especially not now.
Mm-hmm.
um so um
I think during this, like while this is happening, oh God, I'm trying to think of like various scenes in movies where like small robots or animals or even other characters are like hiding behind things, and there's like that conversation eyes to eyes, just like you cannot let people see you.
Hmm.
But it's like that kind of feeling Rusty gets of being peeped at over a wall or something. Just like them trying to not let anyone else know that they're awake.
Yeah.
But like checking in, because like they're being poked around at, like there's somebody interfacing with their systems right now. um so yeah.
I do think that Veracity talks to Radiant 9 or talked to Radiant 9 even before they woke up.
Oh, absolutely.
And now I'm like, oh god, like Veracity is like midway through soldering some stuff together, and they went, oh my god, I'm poking around in Radiant's insides, and like it's like, oh my god, uh, uh how are you doing? Are you good? Like very much like, oh god, I'm just doing this and I didn't ask any of this, and oh.
um I think this is not a memory, Bloom style memory. um I think over the link, Radiant 9 puts back a memory of a time where Veracity had an itchy label in something they were wearing, like a new shirt underneath their flight suit or whatever, or there was like a slight rip in their plug suit, and they just would not, like, this is driving me crazy. I know Chaos will understand this big mood of sensory stuff,
This fucking
but
mood.
just yeah, and like Brady Nine like feeds back like that. It's just like this is what it's like. This is what it's like.
Okay, okay. As long as God, I have hold on a second, because I have a really uh I have a bunch of small cards.
Mm.
Um I have a bunch of small cards. Because I was gonna say that this does trigger a memory
Mm-hmm.
of uh one time that happened, and
Clubs and memories tied to places or objects. Our
yeah,
listeners.
and Veracity had like a really just like, who knows, it was like a rock in their flight
Oof.
suit or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they couldn't shake it, and they were in the middle of sync.
Mm-hmm.
um and they were like, oh my god. And this is long before, so they've been, this is a memory from, they've been piloting for a while, but this is like long before like Radiant woke up. But
Mm-hmm.
Veracity, there's this memory of it triggers this memory of Radiant like stepping wrong,
Mm.
and the rock gets, the impact of that shakes the rock loose.
Mm.
um and um Veracity kind of just being like, oh my god, that was you.
Hmm.
That wasn't the terrain, you did that.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that feels like sync. Absolutely. Um, hmm. Think as the memory ends, while like maybe you're doing some soldering and like connecting things like the pistons in Radio Nine's legs go, in a similar kind of way to the memory. Like
Mhm.
maybe it's one leg than the other leg. Um, like a little wriggle almost. That could be written off as you poking a wire, because obviously somebody else is there.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not trying to play down Radiant Nine's intelligence, but also it's a little bit puppy esque. Like sort of like, yes, I did this thing. Um, because they are awoken, that doesn't imply like a certain level of like they were already intelligent, but now it's like there's an awareness that wasn't there before. And they're getting to experience things in a different way. So in a way, Radiant 9 is quite young.
Yeah, this is very much a this is very much a thing where it's like Radiant 9 was always intelligent, but now they can move on their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um and
Good shit.
but what I think Veracity says to that is ticklish, huh?
Hmm. I
Mm.
think you get a, a like a bubbling amusement and maybe a clip of your own laughter.
Oh. Oh, gosh.
All
And
right.
the other person that's working in the back, like, reaches out and kind of like, you know, jokingly, but like kind of like socks Veracity in the arm. It's like, pay attention. Veracity's like, I am. Leave me alone.
Good. All right. Um, your scene.
My scene. I don't have any other ideas. I mean, it could be just the first time they go out after
Yeah.
and trying to. I think what this looks like is them trying to get used to co-piloting when
Mm-hmm.
Veracity knows that Radiant is perfectly capable of controlling um,
Mm.
themselves, but isn't like quite aware of it yet.
Yeah.
Like they like know, but like they don't like really know.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm quickly looking through the document for other stuff.
You're fine.
Uh, yeah. Just like the bloom is what allows an integral pair to share memories, but also allows you to share other things. The bloom can contain your feelings, your literal thought, or even bits of what you are sensing at the moment. At any time, whether in a scene or a memory, whether you are the establishing party or not, you can ask your co-pilot what is blooming from you right now. They will share something with you. You can do this even if you're role playing a scene where only one co-pilot is physically present. What you get from the bloom might be the only thing your character knows about the goings on, or it might enhance the story you get later. Um, also want to put out there is if it's your turn to share a memory and there's no memory in your hand that you feel comfortable sharing, you have another option. An entangled person may construct a memorial wall in their mind to prevent memories or emotion from being shared. All you must do is to focus your mind on some sort of barrier, tell your partner what the barrier is and that you've constructed the wall. For the rest of the scene, neither of you may ask about the bloom. For while the memory wall is up, there is nothing, and at the end of the scene, add a tally mark to the desync pile. So there. Just wanted to pop those out there. So is this like a full-on battle? Or is this like a recon mission or something like that?
I think it's a recon mission. I don't think that they would try to send a uh, uh, uh unless it was like an absolute emergency. I don't think that they would be trying to send a newly like reforged co-pilot
Mm.
pair
Yeah.
into a heavy battle.
Yeah. All right. What's blooming from Veracity right now?
Um, there is a fair bit of trepidation.
Mm-hmm.
Probably as time goes on, it develops into frustration, mostly directed at themselves, not as much directed at Radiant. Um,
Yeah.
because it's not it was really easy it was really easy before they had to try and co-pilot together again, and now
Yeah.
it's not as simple as
Yeah.
they can't just go back to like cramp.
Oof.
They can't just go back to um like Veracity was like, oh, we'll just like slip back into, you know, what
Mhm.
we had before. It was really easy to kind of like reconnect, like as our like emotionally. But like now that they're like actually out co-piloting, it's like, and it's not like, and it's like Veracity's trying, and it's probably that because they're trying too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Hmm. And how angst gremlin do I want to go with this memory? I'd like
I
to point
mean,
out it's
the real problem
mm,
is that the frustration is mostly directed towards themselves, but it is bleeding out in ways that it's
yeah.
like very muddled.
Hey, hyper empathy, yo.
Yo.
Yo. Um ooh. Okay. My thing is I've got two different diamonds right now, which is strong emotion again.
Mm.
And I could go, this could be either a minor memory or I can make this super like fundamental. Like I am literally at either end of the scale here. So, okay. Hmm. I just got brought homemade cookies, so I'm not sorry. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, they're oh my god, they're warm and gooey. I need to not eat that right now, and I need to concentrate. I'm so sorry.
Your partner is so good.
G is a foodie and likes to cook, so periodically I will be gifted with tasty goods. Okay, I got it. It's not indie sync, it's just on the map. So this is the King of Diamonds. So this is reminded the ace. This is a memory that is fundamental to who I am and concept of myself. And so this wave of like frustration comes through, and Veracity gets hit with this memory, and it was not long after the two of them had been piloting together. And I think what this is, and you can tell me if I'm out of line on the characterization on this, cows. And I think it was the two of them trying to get somewhere where Veracity is needed in their capacity as a doctor more than a soldier, and flying was not an option. And it was oh, I'm such an asshole, god. Sorry. You see the first Neverending Story movie?
Yes.
Imagine
It's been
like
a minute, but I've seen it.
right, this is like the two of them like hip deep in mud trying to get well, and it's not full on swamps of sadness.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah.
This is the
Thank
worst
you.
part of the whole movie.
Yes, it is, which is why I said I'm an asshole.
God, Jade.
Yeah. And I
How could
think
you?
it's this same frustration then. And Veracity is almost crying with frustration because they need to be at this place and they aren't there yet. And they're frustrated themselves and they're frustrated at the terrain and they're frustrated that their mech is not getting them where they need to be. And Radiant 9 feels like they are failing the person that they are meant to help because they are not good enough at what they are doing to get them there. And it's this feeling in the memory of this cannot happen again. And that rage and desperation and frustration, I think in the memory, I don't think we necessarily need to define what happens, but I like this moment of Radiant 9 unprompted. Maybe Rusty like lashed out or something, like just physically like did a gesture, and because of the way the mech is wired up, it could have been them that did this, but
Mhm.
maybe it wasn't. And like the jet booster on the back fired, and the heat like blooming out was enough to like dry out enough what they're on to try and get footing again. But like it could have been, it could have gone really badly in that moment, that happening. The two
Yeah.
of them could have been just fucking stuck. But no, I want this. There was that super negative emotion, but between the two of them, I think like they got out of that, and they could get out of this. But I think the memory in the moment, maybe they did get out of it and it was all okay. Maybe it wasn't as good as it could have been, but they did make it out because obviously they're still here to talk about it.
Right.
But it's that the memory chiefly is the two of them stuck somewhere, just the two of them together, and that need to be doing something that they couldn't do in that moment.
Mm.
And that's what the memory is.
Hmm. I just took my glasses off and now I can't see. Um. Hmm. The sun is rising. Um. Hmm.
The cookies are really good.
I really want fucking cookies. Fuck. Can you just
Sorry,
send me
friend.
one? You think it'll survive?
I mean, I don't know how good it's going to taste when it gets there, is the problem.
I know. That's the problem. 'Cause I really want it like right now.
I'm sorry. I'll send you the recipe later, though.
Can we just like can we just like invent quantum entanglement teleporters now so that you can send
Oh,
me?
just right now. Yeah, let me just pull
Yeah.
out my notes.
Just
See it,
fucking right
FlameCon,
now.
bitches.
Um. Yes. If we can do cookies now, we can definitely get to
By
you
August. Yeah,
sized people
yeah,
by
sure,
August.
sure.
100%. Um. Um.
So the memory ends. We're back,
Yeah.
just on this recon mission.
I do think that the memory was powerful enough that it kind of knocked veracity off balance a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that's a lot of fucking things to be feeling right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially when
Yeah.
you're already feeling like frustrated and kind of powerless and
Yeah.
uncertain and not really like in a super like stable position
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
emotionally, and it just kind of knocks them off. But they do like once they kind of regain themselves, and I do kind of think this ends up in desync.
Sure.
Um,
Like of all
because
the
even though,
times for Radiant 9 to do that.
yeah, because I think even though Veracity kind of like sighs and it's like, I know, well, it'll work out somehow. Like Radiant can
Mm.
tell that they're still just like feeling really just like out of sorts about the whole thing, and it's not. Veracity doesn't feel like um Radiant shouldn't have like woken up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're absolutely like not feeling that, but
Mm-hmm.
the emotions are so complex that it definitely can come off like that
Yeah.
if that is the way that Radiant chooses to interpret those feelings.
Yeah. Like it was simpler before.
Hmm.
I don't want to go back, but God, it was simpler before.
It's it's new. I have to get used to it. It's just so hard, and it's a lot right now.
I think a couple of lights shut off, not essential lights, but it's like the electrical equivalent of somebody pulling back a little.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Like just withdrawing to give somebody their space. And obviously, Radiant 9 can't do that.
Hmm.
Huh. Radiant 9 has shifting capacities. I think the cockpit shape changes ever so slightly. Um,
Oh,
like it gets a little bigger. Like when you see glass being blown, like that kind of gentle expansion,
yeah.
that happens a little bit. Like you hear plates shifting, and it's like Radiant 9 is trying to give Veracity room to breathe
Mm.
and be less oppressive around them.
Oh, buddy.
Do we think that's seen?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. What do I want to frame next?
Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Oh, friend,
I'm so
you
sorry.
can go back to sleep after this. It's okay.
I'm supposed to go out with a friend for her birthday, and I'm just like, I don't know if
Oof.
I can.
Oof, I'm so sorry.
And I feel bad because I'm bailing on her for the third year in a row.
Mm.
So I really should go. And also, I really need to eat something. But I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about we do the scene? Have you got the means to go grab something to eat? Because if so, we can have a quick 2 minutes if you want to go grab a snack
No,
before.
I'm all right. I'm not really like worried about it right now. I'm just like,
Okay.
ugh.
All right.
This is me wanting to go back to sleep.
Mood. Okay, what's the biggest thing standing in our way? Hmm. Hmm. I think they do the recon mission and it's a success.
Hmm.
And they're cleared for full duty. Gosh, excuse me. I think this next scene is a battle.
Is a what?
Is a battle.
Okay.
And I don't Rusty's role in combat is more of a medic kind of a vibe or what? I don't know what you were maybe thinking for them.
Um, I think they're more on the medic side in
Okay.
combat. But they are a perfectly capable soldier, marks person. So like they are capable of defending themselves, but they are primarily there as a medic, as evac, I think also.
I like that. All right.
Because when you got a big robot,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe also this is the way that they're getting eased back into they're getting eased back into combat is they're like you're primarily on evac duty right now.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
um,
Okay. So it's that where the G-Dog go? It's where I left it. It's in Firefox. Funnily enough. The tab's right. Is this a space battle or a planet side battle?
planet side.
All right. Um. In which case, here's something kind of upsetting as a sensory thing. I think
Oh
as well
no.
as like the yells of there's like there's like a weapon fire and engines. I think even above all of that and the sounds of the engines of the mechs, there is this rustling sound of thousands of wings.
Oof.
And oppressive, and it's not, but it's too irregular to turn to white noise.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just that sound around.
Oh, hate
Angels
that.
are scary. Go.
Angels are scary. um,
And maybe we're in the process of getting somebody off the battlefield. Like we're in evac mode right now. We've got somebody.
yeah. I think Veracity is going to try and cue something up to just kind of just try to drown out the oppressive
Mm-hmm.
wings sound, even if it's just other white noise,
Mm-hmm.
just to counteract static with static,
Mm-hmm.
but like legit static.
Sure.
Um, Mostly for themselves, I think.
Yeah. Um. So what's the memory here?
Um, I don't know if it's called yet.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, what's that thing?
The memorial wall.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Here it is. What is blooming from you now?
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Oh, you get images of birds that you have seen, um, like before, and other flying creatures that you and while piloting Radiant 9 that you have seen. And it's like while you are doing the static thing to
Mm-hmm.
try and balance it out, Radiant is trying to assert positive memories with that sound. And it's just like
Mm.
playing those kinds of things. Just like it's like that way you justify when you hear a bump in the night, just oh, it's just the pipes.
Yeah,
Radiant Night is just like it's just this, it's just this. Think of these instead.
it's just birds. It's just
It's
birds.
just
That's
birds.
really good.
Just big birds. Lots of birds.
Um, this might end up being a memorial wall. Um,
Ooh.
and I don't think it's necessarily a. It is a little bit of a desync thing, but I think it's preempted with Veracity being like, we need to be able to concentrate.
Okay.
I need to be able to concentrate. I can't. I just for now, like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm just gonna just let's see, what does it say about memorial walls?
You describe the barrier, or tell your partner what the barrier is and that you have constructed it.
Um, so I think it is. I think it's birds.
Mm-hmm.
I think Veracity takes the birds that Radiant is feeding them and is using the birds as the white noise in their head to kind of just be like, to kind of like, because they can't concentrate, and in order to shut it out, they need to shut all of it out,
Mm-hmm.
which hurts, but um, they will be more successful this way.
Is there like a visual of just like feathers?
Yes.
Mm. Good shit.
Good shit.
Hurts me in my soul place. All right. So you get no emotions, and because of how and this is, I think, is why it's desync.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how Radiant 9 communicates exclusively through imagery and emotions and shared
Yeah.
memories, they can't talk. They cannot communicate right now.
Yeah.
And and I think it's just like a shared system, just like this is where we're going. And it's like being blindfolded and somebody has to lead you.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think that it's like they've not done this before, but it's
Mm.
very, very, it must be very, very weird for Radiant being
Mm-hmm.
awoken now
Yeah.
and not being able to see.
It's like trying to take a step back and remembering how they did it before.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And that's where the desync comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because they literally feel so disconnected from veracity in that moment. Cool and upsetting.
Woof.
Woof.
I'm just gonna
It's,
post in the chat.
mhm.
Woof.
Woof. It is your turn to frame a scene.
I think I'm going to frame the scene immediately following that. There's nothing in the rules that says that I can't show the scene where the wall is dropped.
Good. Good.
So that is what I'm going to do.
All right.
Once everything's died down and they're just like kind of I like if Veracity steers them to like a secluded corner and then just like drops the birds.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'm looking at my cards. I think I think a memory immediately. You drop the wall and it's like bang.
Oh yeah, valid.
Oh, I was reading the wrong thing, and now I'm reading what the correct suit, and now I'm like, oh.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm just gonna drop this card in for you, and
Oh
that's
no.
so. I played the Queen of Spades. Spades being memories of action that you did or was done to you. It is the aftermath of the accident where Radiant woke up. And it is the memory of an unconscious veracity being disconnected from them and taken out to go have medical attention. And Radiant 9 alone, not being able to hear them or feel them or see them, awake and alone and terrified.
Fuck off, Jade.
I'm doing what I am set here on this planet to do,
No,
which is
it's
to make Kale swear at me.
At 6:30 in the morning.
You're welcome.
How dare you? Press F to pay respects in the chat for my feelings. I think what happens is that because Radiant being awake now means that Veracity doesn't have to be connected in order for them to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And um, they disconnect. And God, I have to think about where this is.
Mm-hmm. I'm just putting that tally there for the memorial wall going up because you don't put the card there, but it
Yeah.
needs to be indicated.
This is extremely. This feels extremely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This feels extremely stupid, and I'm saying that from Veracity's perspective. It's not from mine, but it's the
Okay.
best thing that I can come up. It's the best thing that I can come up with, and Veracity feels very dumb, but they go over to the wall
Mm-hmm.
and they just kind of like stretch their arms out
Mm-hmm.
and plaster themselves to the wall
Mm-hmm.
because it's the best way that they can think to give Radiant a hug.
Mm. God, that's good.
And I think unknowingly they are on the left. I mean, I think unconsciously they have made their way to the left side of Radiant Nine's chest,
Mm-hmm.
where a heart would be in a human.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes.
And they have their ear pressed to the wall like
Mm-hmm.
you would to a person whose heart is beating.
Yeah.
Um, and they also have their chest pressed to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So Radiant can feel their heart beating.
Mm-hmm. Um.
Um, and the
So,
remorse.
oh, good job. To clarify, is this on the inside of the cockpit or the outside?
Oh, this is on the inside of the cockpit. This is a very
Perfect.
awkward looking
Mm-hmm.
situation.
I love it. I love it. I think um the inverse of what I described before, like the um the cockpit contracts in size and it's like an exhale, like all the air goes out for a second of in relief, and it's like it doesn't fully envelop because I don't necessarily think Ready and I can contract that small,
Mm-hmm.
but like as close around as close as they can get to hugging them back
Yeah,
while Veracity is inside them and they don't have their limbs and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah. And there is through the link, was it you said the remorse is just like hmm. God, how do I express this as a visual or an emotion rather than words? Because really, I hmm. Okay, it's pieced together from different things that Veracity has said in the cockpit before. It's like literally like a piecemeal, so it's got that slightly broken up quality of when you do that, and in their own voice, but from Radiant, Veracity hears, "I don't know who I am without you."
Oh, oh, oh. Oh God, I do think that that's the first time that is it the first time that Veracity's heard them do this?
Yes, let's have it be. Let's have it be that.
That's so disconcerting, but it's so funny. And they kind of just like startle a little bit, but they kind of just sigh and try to hold on tighter, and they can't really because they're just like plastered against a fucking wall
Yeah.
like a weirdo.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good
Um,
shit. I like it.
it's good shit. It's yep, it's important. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they just say, um, something along the lines of, I I promise to never leave you alone, not for good. I'll always be here.
Oof.
And then something along the lines of we got to figure out a way to communicate though when that happens, because I can't promise that I'm not going to do that again.
You get this sort of wave of acknowledgement, like you're right and you should say it, kind of a thing.
I don't want to leave you hanging like that if I can help it, but sometimes we've got to. Okay?
You get the visual of training drills that you've done before. And the same loop plays and plays and plays again, and just the vibe of just practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Good.
And I put that in sync, to be clear.
Yeah.
For people who may not be actually watching this right now, it is in sync.
All right. Just doing a tweet, getting the word out. People should come see us making each other sad.
The usual
The
shit.
God, it's my turn for a scene. What do I want to do this time?
For people who are who might be wondering and just not saying anything in chat, I will talk about what happened in the accident at some point. I have no reservations that it is. I have full expectations that it is going to come up.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I think it's going to have to be. I like the thought of it being a training drill. Like
they're working on this.
Yeah, I don't think this scene necessarily has to involve the memorial wall going up and then reacting to that. Though they can be, but I feel it's not in the same way that it is mechanically written. So
yeah, what I think it might look more like is them. It's not that it's the memorial wall. It's not like a solid wall. It's something that it's something that Veracity sets up that Radiant can break through if it gets to be too much.
I like that.
It's like when you use training swords and it's like the wood won't actually hurt you, but the and it's a different weight, but it's something that you can work with in the meantime to kind of get used to the idea of what it is that you're trying to do.
Okay, cool. I dig that.
Oh, it's so cold.
Oh, friend. Another blanket. Some more socks.
Just stuck my feet out and my whole calves down to my feetsies were just cold.
Oh.
But my foot's falling asleep too.
So we've got this training scene, and like they're working out little ways of doing this, and ways that maybe Rusty can one, they're practicing what it feels like, the rush that comes after a wall dropping, because it's like a dam. Like when it drops, it's like getting used to that influx of emotions from each other as well. But also these drills are like, what does it look like us moving around when the wall is up?
Yes.
So it is the memory one that comes up. Is it one that's sort of like kind of falls through in the post wall dropping rush, or is this something that maybe Veracity thinks about as they train?
I think it could be either one. I'm gonna draw this card. I've got a fuckload of these fucking tiny little cards. So I drew the Three of Diamonds, which is just small. It's strong emotion, but small, strong emotion. It's just like a tiny moment. Oh, you know what it is? This is a really small, but I like it. I think it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when Radiant came back from a repair, from a repair job, where Veracity like went back to Radiant after a repair job, and like the people who had like done the work, like um just like put a new coat of paint on Radiant's arms,
Yeah,
and it was just a oh, you look really nice, like oh, I like the colors that they used here. It's a cute, it's a nice little change.
it's cute as hell.
I had like another idea for it, but I like this one better for now because it's cute, and then I'll save the other one for a little bit.
Yeah, it is cute. All right. Um, hmm. I think the memory ends. This is a very human kind of reaction, but I'm gonna lean in because why not?
Well,
The
that's the whole thing, right? Is that
mm,
Radiant being sentient means that they're reacting in ways that are
mm,
um more more.
yeah. Um, I think the memory ends and Radiant has stopped moving. Because I think they had forgotten that because it seemed kind of inconsequential at the time.
Oh yeah.
But now they're awoken. Um, and I think you get like a little kind of a TikTok Vine kind of thing of somebody like putting their hand to their chest and maybe one on their face. Maybe they're quoting a movie or something like that. But I basically want the vibe of "You think I'm pretty?" like coming through. um, and just sort of like I think a bunch of lights inside like flare a little brighter for a second, and it's like Radiant 9 is blushing.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew that Ray was gonna blush. Oh, oh, that's so cute. And Veracity just kind of laughs, and it's this good deep chuckle. And I don't think that Radiant has heard it for a while.
Good shit.
Um, like like and it was really tense before the accident happened as well, so it's not like oh, Radiant hasn't heard Veracity like this laugh like this since the accident. It's like no, this was before the accident as well. It's just been a while. It's been a rough war. But Veracity laughs this like good deep chuckle, and it's like I always think you look nice.
Hmm. Uh, you hear back, and I'm voting for this going in sync. You get back, and I think this comes through the internal speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there aren't many, but it's like a series of recordings of Veracity laughing and or giggling or doing
Oh.
like a little huff of amusement. And you get this surge of affection through the link. And it's basically just like, I love the way you laugh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You've got my address, Kales. Come fight me.
That is true. I do have your address. I'll be on the next flight out.
Booyah. We'll
Sorry,
go
boss
get.
man, I'm not coming into work tomorrow. I have to go kick my friend's ass.
Oh, good shit. Good shit. Right. This is going too well. I need to have a dramatic scene. We've had. Oh, three need. I got it. We've got like an hour, so we got time. It's good.
We got time.
We got time. I got time. Shoot. Now I'm just thinking about The Incredibles. Focus, Jade. Use your autism powers for focus. Huh. Scene.
Yeah, I said in our DM chat before that my brain is super like 3-hour game. What? Why? It is going a lot faster than I expected it to, but
Hell yeah.
it is very much like, wow, okay.
All right. So they've been doing their training. They've gotten sorry, just chaos in our chat, making me laugh. So they've been practicing, and they feel more secure in their capacity to not have things hit the fan due to them on a battlefield or on a mission. I want to do something about the enemy, and I don't know. This is approaching Calvin Ball territories. But hey, Ben, what up? I think he's asleep, and probably rightly so. What if
Ben is currently in Zach's time zone, so yeah.
Good.
Or
Sleep is
roughly
good.
around Zach's time zone.
What if? Well, I suppose it doesn't have to be that. Our enemy is compelling. I really want to do a scene that involves that kind of influence, because I'm thinking compelling in like the enchantment compulsion sense of being made to do things, as opposed to cannot look away. But the thought I was having was maybe this is during a dream.
Oh no. Before you continue on and break my heart, thank you to the anonymous person who also donated £5.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
I just checked for the first time in a minute.
That's great.
When I say a minute, I mean an hour.
This is amazing. We are only, I don't know what that is in dollars. We are £50 away from hitting our goal, which was £385, which is about $500. We wanted to do something reasonable. We are like $65 away from hitting our target. We've got 2 more sessions after this. We've got time, but it would be amazing if we could to get that and like fill that green bar. I'm sure there are some completionists out there who, like me, would really like to see that for a number of reasons. Just like, look, it's so close. Then there will be green all the way along to my avatar's hair. It will be great. All
right, go ahead.
Okay, setting this scene. I don't think this is at the base. I think this is maybe out during a mission. But, you got to sleep sometime. Oh, I like this. I feel like there's a hammock like tucked in a compartment that Rusty can like string up inside Radiant's cockpit.
This is so funny to me for so many reasons. Continue.
Okay. And now Radiant is I'm imagining like a real big tree for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. And it's like the tree boughs protect, and it's like maybe it's a place to hide, so they're not an immediate sight. So you've got like This is obviously a very large, very strong tree. Because it occurs to me how much a mech weighs. But Radio 9 is like sort of sat and there's shifted, so like limbs are curled around the tree limbs. So like if there's any high winds or anything like that, or terrifying flights of angel monsters, alien things, or maybe literal angels, who knows, is there. And then within inside the cockpit there is Veracity in their hammock, just chilling. Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Oh. That's fun.
Tell me what happens and I'll tell you what I do. Because I think I know what's going to happen here.
Okay. So they're dreaming. I was gonna say, what does this dream look like? Because I don't want to necessarily prescribe Veracity's dream.
Oh, it's Veracity's dream.
Yes.
Oh. That doesn't exactly change what I was thinking, but it kind of makes things a little bit more dramatic. So
even better. Love it.
I'm going to do this again because I think it's hilarious. Veracity is dreaming of the ocean.
You are so on your bullshit, and I respect every one of your choices.
Listen.
I'm listening. Okay, now listen.
So I think they're just laying in the sand.
All right. This is good because we had something in Stewpot a little bit like that too. It's cool. And I think it's a voice, like on the rushing of the tide, like the and I think a whisper starts coming in with the sound of the tide. And the whisper gets louder and it becomes actual words. I'm trying to think what the enemy might want to actually say to Veracity. Oh, that's upsetting and good. The voice is because legendary enemy. Who knows what they can do? I can't remember if we said unknowable. What was that fourth thing we said? Compelling. Yeah. Is beckoning Veracity into the water.
Oh, of course. So here's what I think happened. In the dream, Veracity kind of hears this voice on the wind and sits up. And it sounds familiar to them in a way that they don't quite remember. It sounds like someone saying their name. And they take a couple of they kind of like stand up and they're kind of like looking around. And they do head towards the water. And their toes brush the edge of the wet sand. And the waves are coming up with the tide. And the memorial wall slams down.
Oh. Shit.
Which is their subconscious mind.
Yeah. Okay, let me be clear. Is the memorial wall them trying to stop the dream and using their control where they've practiced, or are they shutting Radiant 9 out?
Both.
Okay.
It's their subconscious mind trying to stop the dream and also trying to prevent the host from getting to Radiant.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Oh, it's good. It's real good. Okay.
Yeah, so it is both here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fail-safe measure that has
Yeah.
happened. That has been triggered. That Veracity doesn't. Veracity is a person. Veracity doesn't have this, but the bloom kind of did it.
Okay.
The bloom kind of went, fuck no, boom.
That's so good. That's so good. I think like I assume that I think like Radiant I was like in idle mode.
Mm-hmm.
Like sensors on just to take in the outside world, risk of threats, yada yada yada. And in their sleep, Veracity slamming the wall down is like the equivalent of like a door slamming in your house.
Yes.
Like, because obviously they maybe weren't, it's just like the gentle flow of information, like, and maybe you could hear like the noise from downstairs and somebody shuts the door. It doesn't hurt in the way that being like super conscious, but it's like immediately snaps them to notice. And they can't wake them up through the link because the memorial wall is up.
Yep.
What they can do is unloop their limbs, and they literally oh god, that's bad. Are they panicking? How much are they panicking in this moment?
Very much so. Are you kidding me? I'm sure that they're panicking. They were
All right.
asleep.
Okay,
All of a sudden the connection was cut off.
They retract their cockpit as much as possible around where Veracity is asleep in the hammock and jump down out of the tree.
Bam!
So the like literally like trying to like just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to go flying out of their hammock and brain themselves on the inside of the cockpit.
Oh my god.
It's more like if you've ever been in a bunk bed or like I'm imagining like you know those module hotels in like Tokyo, like the space is now that small, maybe even because it's not in piloting mode. And it's just like getting jostled around in something that size rather than having the space to fly across like a chamber and build up momentum.
Right. Yeah.
And starts blasting the external speakers. And it's like a really fun upbeat song because I like that kind of vibe. It's like something, oh god, is it Wake Me Up Before You Go Go? Like something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Veracity rolls.
Or it's 9 in the afternoon by Panic at the Disco.
It's 9 in the afternoon. Oh, it's 9 in the afternoon.
I
Please.
love that song. Yes,
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, it's us. It's 9 in the afternoon. Veracity rolls out of the hammock, hits the ground, wakes up, like yelps. And they're like, I put another tally mark in desync. Because rip us. And they're like doing that thing where they're like half asleep and they're like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Radiant?
The
memorial wall's still up.
How long does it take Veracity to realize they put the wall up?
A good few minutes. So you've just got 9 in the afternoon blasting on loop.
Yeah, that's real good.
It's like 2 rounds of the song, and then Veracity's eyes just go huge, and the wall kind of like gets. It doesn't even like fall down. They rip it away, and they go, "We need to go."
Oh, visual. Both of them are hit by this. It's almost like the remnants of the dream, and both of them get this visual of like a dam bursting and the ocean floods through both of their minds. And it's like a bell being rung, like the remnants of a voice with this rush of water like just echoing through.
Yeah,
Mm, love to game.
love to game. And Veracity goes, we need to go. We need to go. We need to go right now.
Yeah. Radiant doesn't even like question it, just like the cockpit like expands and like the bits, the controls like fold out of the walls ready for um Veracity to hook in, because even though Radiant can move themselves now, they don't need to be piloted like that or to pilot like that. They prefer to, and it's sort of like being fully connected with
Yeah.
Veracity in that moment.
And I imagine also being actually connected and rigged up like that is a measure of safety for them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Um,
when Radiant is like in running mode
yeah.
or
Yep.
even in flight mode. Sweet. I need to quickly bio break
Okay.
and get some more water. Do you want to run down the rest of the schedule for the stream?
Yeah, I can do the schedule.
Sweet, sweet.
I am
Be right
I
back.
am gonna. Yep. Okay. Hey gang, it's me. It's me, your boy. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sun is rising. The tank is clean. Sorry y'all. I'm loopy. Okay, so rest of the stream. We've got an hour left in this one, and then we be nudging Marian in order to make the trade over with Dora at 8 o'clock, or roughly 8 o'clock Eastern Standard, which would be 1 p.m. For those of you who are not in the United States, who are in the United Kingdom mostly. Jade and Anya and Dora will play for the Queen, followed by Ride or Die, which is Ride or Die. Hilariously, I was writing the schedule for this and I went, Ride or Die is a hack of a game by Alex Roberts, and For the Queen is a game by Alex Roberts. So it's kind of the Alex Roberts Power Hour, or Power 3 hours. I don't know. And then at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Zachary will rise and join us and close us out with a session of Spirit of 77, but wrestling. Get to hold on, I gotta scroll up and find this overlay so that I can get it. Oh no, it's not here. Where did this go? Do you remember what he's calling the um fuck me, I forgot what wrestling terms are.
Is it a SmackDown, a Showdown, a
Nope, here it
Rumble?
is. The Knoxville, Tennessee one night only uh uh oh my god. League of Jesus Christ. In the preview on Discord, it's a way too the League of Appalachian Wrestling presents the Marble City Slam Fest. Um so
Beautiful.
close out this happy stream with some wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh which will be very, very good.
That's good. For those of you that maybe aren't regular listeners and just saw a cool retweet from one of the awesome people watching, or one of our guests, or one of the game writers, if you like the way we play game, you can on Mondays every week. Follow the Leader releases new episodes. That's at FTLcast on Twitter, and you can find us on all your podcatching devices. You should also check out our awesome friends and cohorts at Room Where Pod,
They
the room
also
where it
release
happened.
on Mondays,
They also release on
coincidentally.
Mondays.
And you can check out our kind of child podcast.
I think
Me
that's
and
fair.
me and Dora and a few of the Roomware folks play an Animorphs Animorphs Forged in the Dark game called Dumb Kids Playing Hero that our good friend Danielle over at Roomware wrote. And we have an ongoing campaign that releases on Fridays, which is pretty neat. Um, and that one doesn't have an official Twitter because Brian just does all the promo on the Roomware Pod Twitter. But you can keep up with that with the hashtag DKP. No, not key. DKPH.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna quickly get. If you don't have it to hand, we should drop the link for Random Access Histories into the chat.
Yes, you should buy this game, which Ben Roswell, a good friend, actually wrote with Dora in mind. This game was created for Dora specifically, and it's very, very good.
Yeah,
Um,
we played it on a live stream, which is why I have one of the earlier versions of it.
yeah, we've actually
um,
played this game. Dora has played this game on live stream twice now
mm-hmm,
because they played it with you and they played it with Danielle once,
mm-hmm,
which was one of our first crossover things.
mm-hmm.
One of them. Um,
Uh, one of the early days of our cohorts, and now we have a baby podcast,
I feel like
as
that
it were.
sometimes.
Okay, just grabbing the
Here
link
it is.
for.
Do we have? We do have mod powers. That's nice.
Yes. All right, all
Um,
right, all right.
I didn't know if Brian gave us mod powers or if
Mm,
he only gave Dora mod powers. Okay, cool.
you have the power.
It's my scene, right?
No, it's mine. You said it was the follow-on. Oh wait, or did, no, it is your scene. It is your
You
scene. I lied.
you set the dream scene.
I did. I did do that thing. No
Um,
regrets.
why do I feel like we're missing a card
Which one?
on the
Have you looked at
board?
the whole deck? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it's back to you to do a scene because I did the first scene. I think.
No, I did the first scene. I think we're missing a card.
Huh. Hmm. No. All right. 10, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. No, we're correct. We got the right number of stuff. Because it was like 13 each. Effectively, we made, and yeah, that's correct. Because we've had 2 desyncs and then the number of cards. We're correct. We're correct.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
We're fine. It's fine. If we run out of cards, we just reshuffle them anyway. It's good.
I don't think we're gonna run out of cards. I'm just saying I think that we should have an even number of cards on the board because we've gone back and forth.
Mm. I know, because we've both had a memorial wall scene. Or if only you had one. We'll figure it out.
I dropped the memorial wall twice.
Right.
Um,
I've had lots of emotions. Because 3 of those cards
extremely
are mine.
valid.
And yeah, and then that's 4 total because you just did a memory or a memorial wall. So that is correct. And it's your scene.
I'm just gonna take your word for it. I don't think we're gonna run out of cards, but I just think that we're wrong. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The tallies are gonna add up. It's fine.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. So my scene. I think this is just veracity.
Ooh, okay. What are they up to?
Well, what I think it is I think that it's veracity going to mission control
Okay.
with what they learned about the what the host can do.
Mm-hmm.
And uh kind of just like explaining what happened and like leaving out like the part where um Radiant was the one that woke them up and being like well, how did you do it? And being like, well, I was able to, shake it off. Like I didn't like I didn't listen to it or anything. But it was very, very powerful. And if they can get into dreams, then we are in even more danger than we realized we were.
What's coming through the bloom right now?
Um, fear,
Mm-hmm.
lots of it.
Yeah.
like to the point where I think Radian doesn't understand how the can't tell.
Mm,
I will be right back. Hold on a second.
no problem. We have dropped the link for Random Access Histories into the chat if anyone's just listening to us in another window, which is totally rad. If you want to play this good game, it is the good shit.
I'm coming.
It's fine. I'm plugging like a pro. For people that have maybe needed to sleep, which is, the most valid, we are going to be archiving all of the streams. I'm not sure if they're going to be released on the feeds or on the Patreons. We will not let this be lost into the ether of the internet. There will be a chance to listen to the sessions where you needed to sleep.
Thank God for that, because that Beam Saber game that we played this morning,
yeah,
fucking slapped.
Yeah, someone's going to need to do a little bit of a editing thing on that because Brian's internet died in like the last hour of it. It was very funny.
No,
it was just
Brian's internet didn't die. He fucking turned his computer off by mistake.
Oh my god, he did?
He accidentally, trying to hit something on his keyboard, hit the reset button on the top of his computer and turned it off.
That just tracks with how well Brian was rolling because he forgot to do his character sheet properly.
Brian had a fucking time with that game. It was very funny.
He did survive Stew Pot, though. We all talked about how he was probably going to die, and then he didn't. So,
Bless him.
Bless him. Love Brian. All right. I know what card I want to play. I'm just thinking about this memory.
Okay.
Okay, I think I have an idea of a vibe. I think we haven't had any hearts yet. Hearts are memories tied to people.
Oh.
So, Oh my god, excuse me. So sorry. You can tell that I feel the need to be polite because I get extra English sounding.
You get so posh.
I have my moments. Sometimes it's just like, is Jade English or autistic? Yes.
Yeah.
The contractions disappear. Hey Diva, welcome back in the chat. Awesome. Haven't seen your URL a little bit. So you said it was fear.
Fear. 100%.
100%. How long has Veracity been piloting with Radiant 9?
I think that it's been at least a couple of years, if not like half a decade. Like it's been a minute. It's been a while. I don't know why I've started saying a minute, like to signify long periods of time. But I do.
It's good. It's been a hot minute. This is at a distance. A slight difference, and it's one of those another ones where Veracity sees themselves from the outside, because this is Radiant 9's perspective kind of matter. And it's off to the side, and Veracity's like under a big tent treating somebody. And the mech that this kid was in is like smoldering, maybe even oh no, like Radiant 9 still got it. It's still like, because obviously evac, that's what they do,
right?
And this kid is terrified out of their mind, and Veracity is like treating them and getting them patched up, and like their voice is so calm and
Mhm.
their compassion. There's it's not that it's without compassion, but it's like I don't know what Veracity's bedside manner is like when they're working, but what were they actually?
Depends on who it is they're working with.
Yeah. Um, I like the thought with that world, like they're telling this kid a story about something they did that was utterly buck wild,
Yeah.
but their hands are completely steady. And it's almost like there's a disconnect. This weird story that they're telling, and their hands are just like working. And this kid is starting to calm down, is
Mhm.
trusting in what Veracity is doing, and uh, Radiant, you feel in the memory this kind of awe, almost like, because this was before being awoken, but just sort of like this seeing somebody being so good at their purpose but while working in a way that is outside their parameters, almost like the way that an artificial intelligence might interpret that.
Oh.
And I think um the last bit of the memory is from a distance, um and Rusty hears in their own voice, "You're going to be okay."
Oh. Oh, good. All right. Putting that right into sync,
Beautiful.
because I think the thing that Veracity does is that it's like they're like kind of quiet for a second while like what whoever it is, their superior officer or whatever, is talking to them about whatever it is that they're
Hmm.
saying. And they just kind of take a deep breath and they go, ah, like, like, how do they phrase this?
Hmm.
Um, hmm. We'll make it work, whatever it is we have to do. We're not going to lose this. Just like taken that quiet reassurance and just been like, okay.
Mm. Good shit. All right. My scene. What do I want to do now? Hmm. I feel like it's got to be something like working on engaging threat. Though it could be a smaller scene, um, which I actually kind of want more. Hmm. This is just I think this is a maintenance thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's after an evac, because the work continues and like Veracity's a doctor. Like they're a soldier, but then their role isn't to go plant. They're not black ops. They're not that. They're That's not their role in the war. So, but I think they've done a mission or they were out on a big battle, and um, Radiant took some damage. Nothing like earth shattering. Like they're not out of commission, but it needs repairing before they can go out again.
Mm-hmm.
I like how where we've been developing this. Like Veracity doesn't maybe is a bit funnier about other people repairing Radiant now. It's just sort of like but they can't come out and say my mech's ticklish and we're kind of psychically connected at all times and it feels real weird. Please don't
Uh,
touch them.
well, it's a funny that you say that because when we were doing that first practice scene, I had another thought for what the memory would look like there.
Oh, interesting.
Um, So it is funny that you say that, because what I was going to play for that memory and what I still might play for that memory is
Ooh.
just sort of like, one time it was that Radiant came back from repair and something was just weird,
Mm.
and maybe something broke mid-fight, and after that
Oof.
point Veracity was like, no one touches my mech except for me.
I think a lot of mech pilots are probably weird about it. Just like you get to a point, it's just like, no, nobody touches them.
Nope. It's like, nope. That's you don't get to fuck up my mech. Like, that's not how this works.
Okay. So it is this repair scene then.
For the memory or for the
For
scene?
the scene. The scene is Veracity fixing something. And I feel like maybe it's one of their gliding wings. Like they aren't capable of maybe full flight, but they can maybe glide and do a certain degree of elevation.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like they can use boosters to get up to a point and then they have to glide down. I really like that. That's fun.
That's good. That's really good.
I forget. There's a couple of birds that are a bit like that. Like sort of awkward little flight up and then they swoop down, and you can do the whole cool thing that some of the birds do, like ride the thermals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But maybe one of their wings got maybe part of it got shattered, like whatever the material is got broken. So it's like imagine like a bat wing, maybe like one section of it got like basically obliterated. So it's like getting a new one installed and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's real good.
All right.
Do I just play that as my memory?
You can. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any other ideas.
Yeah, sure.
I
Do you
think
want to
it's
expand
definitely
on it a
just like,
little more?
what?
Do you want to expand on it a little more? Just like, so what was being repaired, and
Yeah.
like what does this look like? Is this them chewing somebody out? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
paint me a word picture.
I think that the way that I think that it bleeds out a fair bit
Yeah.
over the course of this. I don't think that it's like a conscious thing, but I think that it's
Mm.
very much like Veracity is just working very, very intently, and when it just kind of like bubbles up that like there was this one time and it was just like it was something that should have been like a super easy fix, and
Mm.
it ended up just snowballing into this like much bigger problem than it really needed to be. And
Mm.
like ostensibly Veracity was chewing out
Mm-hmm.
this tech team, but like from this perspective now,
Mm.
Radiant can tell that it was mostly Veracity being scared
Mm-hmm.
that the tech team was that a problem like that like if they were going to fuck up simple things like that someone was going to fuck up something bigger and wreck their mech, and Veracity being like, I don't want another mech, I want my mech, and this is my mech.
Mm.
And if something happens to them, then I'm done, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, this definitely feels like sync. So
We're
for
doing
sure.
so much sync, it's great.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like throw some drama in.
Well, we have like 20 minutes to throw some drama in, so
Yeah. Hey, Dora's here in the chat. Dora, message us in the Discord server with some with an angsty scene prompt. You're good at this. Um, but yeah, I think as this work is going on, the feelings, the bloom that sort of shifts, and it was always like this feeling of safety. Because then it's like they're trying to stay still. I'm thinking about what it's like being tattooed right now, actually.
oh god,
I
you're
think
so valid. You're so fucking valid.
like if like something's being welded on, or welded in place, like that hot scratchy feel as like their wing is sort of extended and this new panel is being put in.
Hmm.
Mm. Um. Oh. They don't send the full memory back, but no, I just got that. But that's happening. I think you get sort of thoughts of like little visuals, memories of Radiant seeing Veracity work on people,
Hmm.
and just this feeling of I wish I could do the same for you. Uh-huh.
What the
Um,
fuck?
and then you get the feeling of like the cockpit closing, and I think you get hit with the readouts from all of the sensors from that night where they had to jump out the tree and run.
Mm.
And then you get like the visual of like one of somebody holding somebody, like putting their body between, um, and you get the feeling of I will stop you getting hurt first.
Well, they already did once.
And they'll
Is
keep
the
doing it.
thing.
Yeah, they're gonna keep doing it.
Fuck off, Jade.
Love you too.
Oh god. Just ruining me. Um
All right. It's your scene, my memory. Oh yay! Dora's telling me to fuck off too. Yay!
Yep. We've done it.
Doing the good work.
Since we're closing in on the end of this,
Yeah.
uh I am going to say that what happens is the next battle,
Hell yeah.
which may or may not be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
We will find out.
Okay.
Um and it's mid battle. And they are this is not the actual memorial wall that I talked about before.
Okay.
Because I still want you to I think that what it is it's not the actual memorial wall because I still want there to be the memory here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's that sort of same thing where they're shielding to try and prevent the host from breaking in because the host has proven that they can filter into
Mm-hmm.
Veracity's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And but Veracity,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play into wild
Ooh.
because I
Yep.
just
Yep. Yep.
realized I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Veracity is going to pull a bullshit maneuver.
Cool. Great and good.
Yep. And that's probably not going to make Radiant super happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't blame them.
All right. Okay. Do you say anything out loud that you're about to do this? Because obviously the protective shield is kind of up. And so, do you say out loud that you're about to do something?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna keep you totally out of the loop of the shit that I do. I
All
just,
right. All right. Oh, what if it's like a moment where Rusty like says out loud, "You're not gonna like this, but trust me."
yep. Hmm.
And it's like co-pilot, and they feel Radiant Nine like reluctantly like let go of the controls to give them full control for a second, and they won't
I,
resist the maneuver.
yeah, I will say that the last time Veracity pulled a bullshit maneuver like this, they ended up
Yeah.
falling out of the sky. So, um, that's probably a fun thing for Radiant to remember. Just
Mhm.
saying.
Oh, here's a fun thing. What if, well, it can be about to happen. What if at this point the Radiant doesn't remember that? I mean, how many people remember being born?
That's a good point.
Like the trauma of waking up in that situation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So the maneuver happens.
Mhm.
Does it go well? Does it pay off? Or
I think it
do you
pays
want me to
off.
have this? Okay, that works
I
for
think
me.
I think it pays off, but there's probably some like nasty consequences, which I leave up to your wonderful, wonderful mind.
You're so kind. All right.
I'm giving Jade a lot of power here, people.
This was a higher card. Frankly. But yeah. I think you do this. And I think the memory that comes through is when they woke up.
That's
And
what
it's
I thought you were gonna say.
it's them remembering it.
That's
And
what I was
do you
hoping
want
you were gonna say. That's why I
yeah,
brought it up.
would you please describe for the audience, for our listening audience, this memory, because this is something you've written already and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I wrote this. So I don't know exactly what it was that Veracity did. It was an error. It was not a space battle, but it wasn't also totally planet side. It ended with Radiant Nine's thrusters being thrown out of commission, and they ended up falling out of the sky. And um, they were like, command was like, eject, get out of there. And Veracity was like, I'm not gonna do that. I can fix this. And Radiant, that was the moment when Radiant became sentient because Veracity was in danger. And what they did was they wrapped their arms around their own chest to cushion the fall a little bit more when they hit the ground. Did it work? How does physics work? I don't really know.
We aren't
Uh,
scientists.
we aren't scientists. They both lose consciousness. Um, and oh, Jade, are you gonna pull some bullshit on me?
Maybe. Who knows? I may be doing the little cat smile face right now. Who can say?
Because if you're going to pull some bullshit on me, I want you to do before I explain what happened.
Sorry, can you say that again? You bubbled out slightly. And
Yeah. If you're gonna pull bullshit, I want you to explain exactly what it is that happens before I say what happens in the memory.
I may do the thing that that we have not done yet, that you said was a very important part about Radiant 9.
Yes.
Yes.
Thought
That's
you
what
were
I'm
gonna
going to
say
do
that.
after the memory ends.
Yes.
Oh. Oh. Do you need to explain more about what happened, or can I take this?
I mean, it is just to say that the way that Veracity and Radiant got back to base was that Radiant walked them there, and Veracity was conscious, so they have the veneer that Veracity
Mm-hmm.
piloted them, but they both know that it was Radiant that did it. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
now that that's been said, now you can say your thing.
So, that happens. The maneuver is going on, and Veracity gets hit with this memory of the engines cutting out and then plummeting, and the feel of arms wrapping around, and then the slam of impact and everything going dark. And in the memory and in the now, they just hear Veracity.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought you were going to do. That's exactly what I was hoping you were going to do. Yes, thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
The important thing to know here is that Radiant 9 can only say one word with their own voice. And it's Veracity's name. So don't blame Jade for this, because this one's all me.
Just Diva and Dora just shouting in the chat. And rightly so. And rightly so.
Welcome back to me and Jade.
On our bullshit.
I'm high-fiving you from the other side of the ocean, and I just ripped my headphones again.
Our friend. Our friend. And what better? Who needs caffeine when you have your friends doing this to you, Dora? I mean,
We love you, Dora.
we love you so much. Here's an interesting question, though. What is this like for Veracity now in this moment? Like the maneuver's been pulled off, and they just get hit with that moment, that memory again. I mean, is this a desync moment?
I don't know. Because I think the thing is that Veracity remembers this very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not? I mean, like, traumatic brain injuries and all of that. But Veracity has a very clear memories of the time just before and just after Radiant woke up. And like kind of like has gone over this over and over and over in their head, and to like kind of go has like been thinking for a while, like, when did this happen, and realized it had to have been there. It couldn't have been earlier than that, and it couldn't have been later than that. Like, it wouldn't have been earlier because I would have known, so it had to have been right then. So they have very, very clear memories of this. And I mean, I think that they figured that Radiant didn't. But I think that they can tell that this is not Radiant reminding them. This is Radiant remembering.
I got a thing. A possible thing, if you want it. What if in that moment of awareness, like it's memory, and it's like that rush of emotion that comes with it, and it's enough? I think this is me being on my bullshit.
Hell yeah, let's go.
It's a moment of sync, but because the two of them are in sync in that moment, the shield drops.
Oh.
And our next scene, well, we got time. It's fine. Let's do it.
We got one more. I think one more.
One more scene, and then we'll do our closeout. So,
which is good, because that'll be a few full rounds.
All right.
I want to be really clear for the people who did just wake up. We did say at the top that we were not going to go with a super grimdark tone for this game. And I trust Jade a lot to, you know, keep things to be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden, it would, like, we wouldn't do all of this play stuff together if we didn't like trust each other, you know?
Yeah. This is where I'm hoping that you've got a high card in your hand. Really. I'm hoping. Because I think this next scene, I think it's that beach, and it's like a dream state moment.
Of course.
And it's that beckoning voice from the ocean. But rather than it being like that calm of before, it's like a roiling ocean, and there are black clouds rolling in. You can see lightning striking the water out in the distance. And it's this beckoning voice, but it's not like a siren's call. It's like a voice digging into your brain, calling you forward, and it hurts. And Veracity is stood on this beach, and just behind them, so they can't see, but I do like that Dora's incentive right there. But it's all good.
I wish I could say something pithy here, but unfortunately it would lie. However,
Yeah. And you can, and Rusty can feel Radiant Nine just like stood behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And like the two of, oh, wait, no, it's a hand in theirs,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
they can't turn away from the water. Their like eyes are locked forward because I don't want to ruin what Radiant Nine might look like as like maybe a person, because that's a fun thing for another day
Mm-hmm.
if it's something you wanted. But that's there, and it's this voice to come back. We crawled out of the water once. Go back, go back, go back, go back to where you came from. It is not your time anymore. We are taking what is ours. You ruined it. We take it. It's ours. And this voice is telling you to get in, get in the fucking sea.
Get in the fucking sea.
Get in the fucking sea. And I think before you even realize it, like you're at the water's edge and it's cold, like Atlantic in like January cold.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, that's where we're at.
All right. Fuck off, Dora. I don't even understand that reference, but fuck off.
I think
So,
everyone knows intrinsically that that's a evangelical, evangelical cats reference, without having seen the show.
yeah, but still.
Still,
So I do not have an ace up my sleeve, but I do have a queen of diamonds.
beautiful.
And Veracity has this memory. What does this look like? The cold. Okay. Yup. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The cold of the water jerks them back to a moment where they were losing consciousness in Radiant's chest.
Mm-hmm.
They were bleeding out. And they weren't sure that they were going to make it. Like really just like that moment where you where you go, I don't know if this is gonna fucking happen. And they
Mm-hmm.
looked up and they realized that over the hole in their chest, Radiant had put one of their own hands,
Mm.
like they were holding Veracity in.
Mm.
And the thought of that fills them with filled them at the time like kind of like it wasn't necessarily like it filled them with warmth exactly, but it did kind of soothe them because they knew that Radiant had them and would
Mm-hmm.
have them. And there's the water is cold, and but Radiant is holding their hand, and Veracity closes their eyes and says, "Oh shit, what is it that they say?"
Mm.
Hmm. I am already exactly where I need to be. Why don't you go back to the sea?
Mm. So good. And I think there is this, like you feel the hand squeeze a little tighter around yours, and you feel this surge of pride and love And it's like the sand shifts up underneath you a little and it lifts you up out of the water. And it's not, and I don't think this is necessarily the end of the dream just yet, but it's that cold isn't there. It's lingering on the edge of your senses, but you are elevated and you are as safe as you can be. And you feel that presence again, and the shield starts to spread up around the two of you. This presence of radiant. Oh, they live up to their name, and I feel like it's like sunshine spreads around the two of you, and it's warm, and it just infuses you down to your core.
Very fucking good.
And yeah, I think that's the dream. The voice, oh, and the voice stutters for just a breath. All right.
Fuck this shit, we're out.
Yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out. Okay, end the game. All
Oh my
right.
god.
Ending the game. Draw play to a close whenever you both agree that you have reached an end. Next, count up the total value of the cards in each pile with suit cards equaling 11 and aces equaling 12. Add 8 to desync for every wall one of you put up during play. So that is 11 plus 16 in desync. So 27.
Just looking at the fact that we have 3 face cards.
Yeah, that's 33. So clear win for desync on that one.
8 or for sync. Jade. You
Sorry,
said
what?
desync.
I meant sync. Or Discord made me sound like a fool. Boo-boo the fool. Okay. All right. So use these totals to figure out the general shape of post game for your co-pilot. There's no simple cut and dry way to do this. A high number in the sync pile might mean that you have fused and become one person, or it might mean you have become the best pilot pair in history. I'm not going to read the desync part because we don't need to worry about that. Yep. Once we've decided what the general shape of post-game life is for the co-pilots, we create an epilogue of images from this life, take turns flipping over cards and using their suit and value to shape post-game moments. But rather than role-playing them as you would memories in the main game, focus on making brief tableaus that capture and feel the tone of your future. Go until each of you have drawn 3 cards. So I assume this can be from anywhere in the memory bank?
I guess so.
Sure. That's fun. So what does this look like? What does these two being super synced?
Super synced. I don't think in terms of like what changes out from an outsider perspective, I don't think it's very much. But I do think it gets easier for them to communicate when they've got the walls up.
Yeah.
I don't think by any stretch of imagination that this was. It feels it's not done yet, but
no, the war is
they
not
are
done.
very, very good at what they do. And the tides start to turn in our favor a little bit, I think.
I like it. Okay. Let's flip some cards.
Let's flip some cards.
Calvin Ball this for a little now.
I am so sleepy.
Oh, friend. Well, if we can just do a couple each.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the suit.
Do you want to start?
Sure. I'm gonna bust out the King of Spades as I have it.
Might as well.
Might as well. What this is this is something that Radiant 9 does with Veracity. They go wake up other mechs.
Fuck yes.
Because this is the
shit I like to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's about making other people to bring them up to Veracity and Radiance level. Like, this is how you resist the compel. One person alone can't, but two together can. This is that good Pacific Rim bullshit.
Bullshit.
This is people working in harmony. Because fuck hosts and their fucking creepy choral bullshit.
Yep.
This is helping other people wake up.
Yeah.
That's the King of Spades.
Let's see. I've got the King of Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure what this looks like, but I think it's very, very connected to this.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like one of the mechs that they woke up comes to them at some point. It's one of the parents, maybe, because I think that most of the mechs are in a similar boat to Radiant 9 where they can't all speak. But it's very much a like God, I'm so done with they're like, you changed things for us. Because I think the thing about the mechs is that like you can sync fine with them, certainly, but like it's so much stronger if once the mechs have woken up. It's like just it's so different. And the kind of connection that establishes is just it's just life-changing. It really is.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna drop this one here. The Jack of Clubs, memories tied to places or objects. This is maybe even the last part of time in the war. And this is Radiant and Veracity on a real beach.
Yes.
Okay, they're not done quite yet.
No, it's okay. God, I'm tired on you.
Yeah, me too. How late were you up?
I played in the session before this.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
then also had to make sure it got off the ground. So.
Gotcha. Oh, Gail said, Brian, we need you in live.
Hey, yo, what's up?
Just checking so we can still have sound for the stream before we close out.
Shit,
I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good.
You're asleep. Good. It's okay.
No worries. But yeah, this is a beach, and the water is warm, and the war isn't done yet. But the tide is almost completely out.
And
that's
shit.
That card.
Backstage peek. Let's see. I want this to be my last one.
Oh yeah.
You played clubs.
I did. Got a diamond?
Yeah. I don't have a super high one, because I played the Queen of Diamonds already. So it's
Mhm.
just the Nine of Diamonds, but I think that's good here. Because I do think that the thing is that it's not that there's not a definable word for how Veracity feels about Radiant 9.
Mhm.
But the best, I need something stronger than the word that's popping into my head because I'm too tired to function.
So valid.
I'm gonna sleep so good tonight though, y'all. Holy shit. The best word to describe actually, I'm gonna just click through some stuff real quick. Oh, it might be this.
Oh.
Nope, it's this one. Indispensable.
Ooh, good.
That's the word. That's the best word that Veracity can think for describing how it is that Radiant means to them.
Love it. Alrighty.
Because other words are just too small.
Oh, good. All right. Then that has been Kales and I playing Random Access Histories. You should go check out this very good game by Ben Roswell. It is cool as hell.
It's a really good fucking game, y'all.
It is 5 minutes until our next session. It's going to be myself, Anya, and Dora playing For the Queen and Ride or Die, which is a hack of Starcrossed by our own Danielle. You should stay tuned for that, or go tell your friends about that, or stick around. We'll go over donation incentives and all that on the next session. I've been Jade. You can find me at Jade Oxford Rose on the Twitters.
I have been Kales. This was really fucking good. You can find me at Citadel of Swords on Twitter now. A functional human being. I don't mind you going to find me now.
All right.
Chill.
We're gonna bounce, and we'll be right back in 5 minutes with the next game, session 7.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. It's been grand.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye.
I'll talk to y'all on the flip side.
Last time on The Room Where It Happened. We now return to our game already in progress.